When I work with school leaders on research use, the number one concern I hear is that they don't have time to do it all by themselves. Well, I've got good news for you. You shouldn't be doing it all by yourself. In this video, I'm going to show you how to select and implement a research team that drives thoughtful decision making in your school. Hi friends, I'm Courtney, and here we talk all about education, research, and data. So if you're into that, make sure you like and subscribe and come be a part of our community. Schools are fast-paced environments, and it can be challenging to make decisions that truly affect what's best for your students, teachers, and community. But what if there was a way to ground your school's decision in solid, proven evidence? That is where your research review team comes in. A research review team is a group of educators and staff committed to exploring, analyzing, and applying the latest educational research to help your school grow and improve. A well-organized research review team can be a real game changer for your school, helping you to improve classroom practices, refine school-wide policies, and inform professional learning efforts. When forming your research review team, the first step is to choose the right members. It's important to select a diverse group of people who bring different perspectives and experiences to the table. Be sure to include individuals from various roles within your school. Teachers from different grade levels and subject areas, different school leaders, support staff, and in some cases, even students and parents can provide valuable insight. The goal is to gather a group that can view research through multiple lenses and have deep, meaningful conversation. You'll also want to select individuals with certain key characteristics. Look for those who are naturally curious, open-minded, and enthusiastic about learning. They don't have to be research experts, but they should be willing to dive into new ideas and apply them to your school's contexts. There are a few good ways to choose team members. You could ask for volunteers or send out an interest survey or even do formal nominations or applications. The selection process will depend on your school's culture and needs, but try to ensure that the team isn't just the same voices you always hear. It should reflect a broad spectrum of experiences and viewpoints. And whatever you do, do not require people to be on the team if they don't want to be. It's better to have a small focus team than a larger team filled with folks who are working against the current. Ultimately, having a balanced team that includes both experienced educators and those newer to the field can also help to ensure that the group brings fresh ideas while staying grounded in practical realities. Once your team is in place, the next step is to establish a meeting schedule that keeps everyone engaged and on track without becoming overwhelmed. The success of your research review team depends not just on the discussions during meetings, but also on the preparation that happens beforehand. To make sure each meeting is productive and purposeful, a few key steps need to happen in advance. First, it's crucial to send out any research materials ahead of time, at least a week in advance, but more if possible. This gives team members enough time to read, reflect, and come prepared to discuss a meaningful research finding. Choose articles or studies that are directly relevant to your school's current priorities or areas for improvement. This keeps the work focused and meaningful. Every meeting should have a structured agenda to guide the discussion. So here's a sample outline you can use. First, review the research. Start by summarizing the key points from the articles or studies that the team has reviewed. This allows everyone to be on the same page before diving deeper into the content. Next, allow time for questioning and discussion. After reviewing, allow time for questions. Encourage team members to critically analyze the research. What makes it strong? What are the gaps? How does it relate to our specific school environment? This is where the team's diverse perspectives really come into play. Next, consider the application to your school. Transition into discussing how the research can be applied. What actionable steps can be taken based on the findings? Whether it's classroom strategies, professional development ideas, or policy adjustments, this is the time to turn that research into real-world solutions. Finally, wrap up the meeting with clear next steps. Assign responsibilities such as implementing a pilot program, gathering more data, or preparing a research-based presentation for the rest of the staff. Make sure each meeting moves closer to the action you want to see happen. By establishing this process and ensuring a thorough preparation before meetings, you're setting your team up for success. The more organized and thoughtful the process, the more impactful the team's work will be in driving change in your school. Once you get yourself all set up, you should aim to fall into a regular meeting cadence. A good starting point is to meet once a month. This gives the team enough time between meetings to gather insights, review research, and reflect on how it can be applied. Monthly meetings strike the right balance. They're frequent enough to maintain momentum, but not so frequent that it becomes a burden. Aim for meetings that last between 60 and 90 minutes. This provides enough time to discuss the research in depth without stretching people's schedules too thin. And make sure to create a clear agenda for each meeting so that time is used efficiently. It's so important to keep the work of this team engaging and impactful. We never want to meet just to meet. So here are 4 activities or areas of focus for your team that you can use to ensure that you're making the most of your limited time together. One powerful way to engage your team is by designing and conducting small-scale action research projects within your school environment. These projects allow team members to apply research methods to address specific issues in real time. For example, you might explore how different instructional strategies impact student engagement, or test out new approaches to classroom management. The team can collect the data, analyze the results, and recommend changes based on what they find. This is a much more thoughtful way of rolling out big changes school-wide. Another important role for your team is curating relevant evidence to build a resource library for the rest of the staff. As your team reviews different studies, compile the most useful ones and create a centralized place where other educators can access them. This could be an online repository, a monthly research newsletter, or a short best practices document that summarizes the findings and their practical applications. Your team could also take on a role in leading professional development within your school. Use the research you've gathered to design workshops that help teachers and staff implement evidence-based practices. For example, you might lead a session on improving literacy instruction, integrating technology, or using data to differentiate instruction. By sharing the knowledge, your team becomes a resource for your whole school community, and those team members start to be seen as research leaders in your system. Finally, your research review team can help evaluate new programs, curricula, or interventions before they're adopted. By critically analyzing research on different educational tools, your team can provide better recommendations on whether these tools will likely work within your specific context. This helps to ensure that any new initiatives are grounded in evidence and reduces the risk of adopting something that doesn't align with the rest of your school's needs. These kinds of activities not only provide direction for your team, but also ensure that the work you're doing has a direct, positive impact on your school. Building a research team at your school is more than just an academic exercise. It's a strategic move that can transform how decisions are made and how progress is achieved. By bringing together a diverse group of educators, reviewing research with intention, and focusing on practical applications, you can create real, lasting change for your students and staff. Remember, it's not just about reading the research, it's about using that research to solve problems, to drive innovation, and to improve outcomes. So take the first step today. Gather your team, start the conversation, and begin turning evidence into action. If you found value in this video today, make sure you like and subscribe, and check out some of the other videos on my channel before you leave. I'll see you next time.